There are many unsettling concerns following the unpredictable UFC 280 event that took place in Abu Dhabi last weekend. If Alexander Volkanovski is the challenger, the UFC is attempting to match up against Islam Makhachev. How would that impact the pound-for-pound rankings? Does that also imply Sean O'Malley will finally have a shot at winning the championship the following year? Keep watching to find out. Firstly, who will win in the showdown against Volkanovski and Makhachev? Volkanovski already has that position, and anything the bottom 10 could do would be overridden by a victory over Makhachev to become a two-division champion. And if Makhachev defeated Alexander the Great after defeating Charles Oliveira, who was ranked number 2, that 1-2 punch would absolutely drive him to the top of the mountain. Anyone who would then vote for the new lightweight champion lower than number 1 should go sit down with Khabib Nurmagomedov and explain their reasoning and try to protect themselves. Israel Adesanya, the middleweight champion, will compete in November, and the outcome may affect this topic. Volkanovski is currently pound-for-pound number 1, and he's been since July. After the final performance, we predict Makhachev will be among the top 5 in most people's rankings. Volkanovski will be taking a chance by facing a stronger opponent, but because his title is safe, he'll be taking a smaller risk. The victor will probably be regarded as the best in the world. Next, what does Adesanya versus Alex Pereira mean for the P4P number 1 spot? Others struggle to predict which of the two would prevail in a fight. Therefore, everything will rely on what occurs between now and then, especially with Adesanya and Alex Pereira at UFC 281. If Adesanya prevails, he will have 13 consecutive victories in the UFC as a middleweight and 6 successful title defenses. He's only ever lost one match, a light heavyweight title match against Jan Blachowicz, which took place outside of his classification. If Makhachev defeats Volkanovski, can he surpass Adesanya and that outstanding resume with just one title defense? About that, we're not exactly sure. With everything going on, we forget Volkanovski is already the pound-for-pound king. We'll discuss where he ranks among the all-time great fighters, let alone the current pound-for-pound top 10 if he defeats Makhachev and wins the title. However, Makhachev will have to go further. A case might be made for him if Pereira defeats Adesanya and Makhachev defeats Volkanovski, neither of which is unlikely. Moving on, can O'Malley be a champion in 2023? Although he performed admirably against Petr Yan on Saturday, viewers believed Yan should have won. Some wagers even had him winning all 3 contests, so no one could blame Yan and his team for being furious. Even though we detest the word robbery, it's quite accurate to describe what happened. This won't even be a discussion if Yan is given the go-ahead. O'Malley would still need to perfect much more work. None of this implies that O'Malley can't challenge Sterling for the belt and win. Nearly everyone he faced in a title fight would be at a disadvantage for him on their feet. Even though White mentioned Henry Cejudo in the post-fight press conference, it's probable that he may face Sterling for the next title opportunity. Sterling's grappling is more dominant, but Yan gave O'Malley some trouble, so he definitely wouldn't have it easy. It does seem like Suga Sean has proven many people wrong, is a serious contender, and is now much closer to winning the UFC Bantamweight Championship than he was 72 hours ago. He can't be denied all that. Lastly, our take on O'Malley. We'll just say that it doesn't seem like O'Malley is in any hurry right now. He is aware of the ideal position he has in the upcoming clash. To accept a title bout in a few months, does he have to start training already? Not at all. Not if he thinks it would be better for him to take a break after a busy second half of the year. There are many alternatives at the top of this division. The stylistic competition at the top will also be challenging for O'Malley. Although he has excellent talent, it would be difficult for him to match the wrestling background of Sterling or Cejudo. Certainly, a challenge he can handle, but if we're talking about 2023, his chances of winning a championship are slim. Why can't we believe that O'Malley will win the belt in 2023 after being so impressed by him? Because he doesn't sound like a man who is passionate about moving up the UFC ladder. Being only 27, he's achieved quite a lot, so he's probably not going to be in the scene for a while. In other news, starting with Islam Makhachev predicted to win over Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski's prospects of becoming the UFC's next simultaneous two-division champion are great, according to the betting markets. The UFC featherweight champion, Volkanovski, is anticipated to face recently crowned lightweight champion Islam Makhachev at UFC 284 in Perth, Australia. The contest will be just the 5th occasion in UFC history that 2 reigning champs square off inside the octagon. Results between the heavier weight category and the lighter weight category are tied at 3-3. According to the starting betting odds for this matchup, Makhachev is the clear favorite to defeat Volkanovski. Makhachev was a -400 favorite favorite, according to DraftKings starting odds. As the underdog, Volkanovski had a plus 300 comeback. There's been enough money bet on Volkanovski in the short period since UFC 280 ended, and he squared off in the cage against Volkanovski to lower the odds on Makhachev. Volkanovski is currently at plus 255, while he is minus 305. Although the bout between the two champions isn't set in stone, UFC President Dana White stated after the fight that everything points to it happening. It'll be a special competition. At the moment, Makhachev has won 11 straight UFC fights. Volkanovski has won 12 straight fights to remain unbeaten inside the cage. It will join Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira at UFC 280 as the only battle in organization history to feature combatants on double-digit victory streaks. Next, Makhachev is endorsed by Khabib. Islam Makhachev fulfilled a prophecy on Saturday by winning the lightweight title in the UFC. Perhaps it was merely a devoted buddy, showing his sense of fraternity and faith. However, it felt far more significant when Khabib Nurmagomedov interrupted his interview almost 3 years ago. We'll think of it as an impending coronation. When that happened, Nurmagomedov was still in charge after successfully defending his 155-pound title against Dustin Poirier at UFC 242. Makhachev had previously put up a thrashing display earlier that evening when he battled in Abu Dhabi, which is also the venue of this weekend's boxing event. Yet another anticipated brutal duel. Makhachev was sitting at the post-fight dais talking to reporters about his 18-1 record after defeating Davi Ramos. Nurmagomedov was wearing his UFC title, set it down in front of Makhachev on the table, and then left after saying only 2 words: future champ. Nurmagomedov focused on the term champ, but the other word was more crucial. That was something Makhachev made very clear right away. He said that he had been waiting since his retirement to make him proud. He wanted to wrestle and earn the belt fair and square, and it seems as if he's done exactly that. Finally, Islam Makhachev's promise. On Saturday, in the main event of UFC 280, Makhachev destroyed a star-studded fight card lineup by stunningly defeating Charles Oliveira in the second round, having the prized belt placed around the new champ's waist by a grinning Nurmagomedov, who carried his pal around the octagon on his shoulders, somehow made the accomplishment even more significant. Makhachev then made an attempt to give Nurmagomedov the belt he had been using up until his abrupt retirement 2 years ago, which was in fulfillment of a vow Khabib had made to his mother after the passing of his father, Abdulmanap. The senior Nurmagomedov had coached not just his son, but also Makhachev back in their native Dagestan, and the new champion wanted to pay tribute to his longtime mentor with a heartfelt gift for Khabib, who's now his coach and cornerman. Nurmagomedov put the strap back on Makhachev's shoulder and said that it belonged to him. Although it would be easy to refer to Makhachev as the next Khabib, doing so would be oversimplifying their relationship. Common ancestry, wrestling prowess, and unbridled confidence. He stands out from everyone else in his division thanks to his broad range of abilities. He's already made a reputation for himself as the best fighter, pound for pound. Alexander Volkanovski, the current UFC featherweight champion, was actually seated cage-side at the fight, and it seems like Khabib picked up a fight with him on purpose. By announcing that Makhachev was number 1 in his eyes, he put his friend in the eyes of Volkanovski just because he was certain he could defeat him. If that isn't true friendship, we don't know what is. That's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the P4P fight predictions between Volkanovski and Makhachev? And who will reign supreme as the champion? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one. This